Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. I hope you are having a great morning. I hope you're having a great season, a great end of the year, a great journey. I just hope your journey is getting brighter and brighter every day because you are getting closer to Him every single day. That's what we're talking about this week. Last week we talked about how God sees us, He hears us, He reaches for us. We're never out of reach. We're never too far for Him to hear us. He always gets us. And this week we are talking about us reaching back to Him or us chasing Him. So I've looked at 2 or 3 characters. Today we're going to talk about this little short dude. Now I've always called him Zacchaeus. So there's some different ways to say it, but I always said Zacchaeus. So that's how I'm going to say it, okay? But he knew Jesus was coming to town, and he tried to see him, but there was a crowd, and he couldn't see Jesus. Have you ever felt like you couldn't see Jesus? Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you couldn't see God, you couldn't see Him working? You know He's there, but you can't see that what He's doing, that He's really involved in your life. Sometimes we get in those times sometimes, right? And so he could see Jesus, he knew He was coming, but Zacchaeus' problem was he was short. The little dude couldn't see Jesus because there was so many people. He did not give up and go home, y'all. He didn't say, well, I know He's here, but I'll never get to Him. I'll never see Him, so I am just going to go home and make a sandwich. Right? He didn't give up. He said, I can't see Him yet. So he did whatever he had to be able to see Jesus. Now, the story is in Luke chapter 19. So what Zacchaeus did was he said, I can't see Jesus. But he did. I love that he didn't give up. He didn't say, well, I wanted to see Him while He was here, and I was really hoping to get to see Him, but I just can't see Him. And so instead he said he ran ahead of the crowd, but looked at the direction Jesus was going. That'll preach right there. He looked at the direction Jesus was going, and he went to the sycamore tree, and he climbed up in the tree so that he could see Jesus. And he's like, there He is. There He is. That's who everybody's talking about. That's who everybody's flocking to see, to hear His words of wisdom, because He speaks like He's came straight from heaven, because He did, right? And so he's like, there He is. He's the one that heals. He's the one that came. That some say He's the Messiah. Some say He's not. I don't know, but now I've seen Him. But the story doesn't stop there. That's a pretty cool story, because I love it that he didn't give up. Matter of fact, it said he did 2 things. It said he was short, so he ran ahead of the crowd, and he climbed up into the tree. He took what we might call extreme measures to be able to see Jesus. And sometimes when we are in situations where we feel like we can't see Him, we feel like we know He's there, but we don't get it. We know God never leaves us. We know that He's never gone. He's never moved away. He's never He is always present, but we don't always see exactly where He is, exactly what. Can't see what He's doing. Maybe we know which way He's moving. We know we can get in this Word, and sometimes we got to go take those extra steps. Get up 5 minutes earlier so you can read your Bible if you're not already doing it, or read right before you go to bed, right? Get up 10 minutes earlier so you have time to pray, walk and pray. I love to walk and pray. I walk around the apartments a lot and just pray. That's my prayer time. I love it. And so, but just going to some different measures and doing whatever we need to be able to see Him. Because Zacchaeus did 2 things. He ran ahead and he climbed up in the tree. He had to think that out. He had to go, okay, I can't see Him because I'm short. No short jokes, right? But I can't see Him. So he ran ahead. So he had plenty of time. And then he climbed up in the tree because he knew once he got up in the tree. Sycamore trees are really easy to climb, by the way. But he climbed up in the sycamore tree, and then he could see Him. That's all he wanted, was to see Him. He had no idea Jesus was going to invite Himself to supper, right? Jesus stopped and said, come down and take me to your house. Wow. Okay, so here's what I get out of this story, though. Not only did Zacchaeus do everything he needed to do so that he could see Jesus, who was right there. We've got to do everything we can do to see Jesus, who is right here, right? To talk to Him, to pray, to learn His character and the Word, to understand why He came, what He's done for us, whether we're talking peace, grace, mercy, all these things, the righteousness, all these, redemption. We've got a long list, salvation, right? A long list, right? not only do we want to do whatever we need to do so we can see him in our situations, he is going to meet us there. One of our favorite scriptures, we talk about this scripture a lot here, Jeremiah 29 and 11 down through there. And he says, when you seek me, you will find me. So when Zacchaeus climbed up in that tree because he was seeking, he was a true seeker. He was a God chaser. He was, I've got to see Jesus. I've got to get where I can see. And he was a true seeker. And when he really looked for Jesus, Jesus met him there and went, hey, come on down, let's go to supper. You're buying, right? So he followed Zacchaeus to his house. And then the funny thing is, everybody was like, it says he came down, and when everybody saw it, they complained. And he went to the home of a sinner. Jesus is eating with a sinner, because tax collectors were sinners. Well, Matthew was a tax collector, let's just throw that out there. But the people looked down on tax collectors because they took taxes plus. They took what they owed the government plus another whatever they could get out of the person, and that went in their pocket. They were thieves, right? And so he's going to the house of a sinner. When you decide to seek God, there will be people who will not understand. When you decide, I'm going to run ahead and get up in the tree so I can see Jesus, I don't even have to talk to him. I know he's probably not going to see me, which he is, right? But I've got to see him. There will be people who will not like that. People won't like it because you get close to God, or you choose to want to chase God more seriously, right? That may not be good English, but you know what I mean. But there may be people that don't like it. Maybe they felt like there were other people who were more worthy of Jesus going to their house. Why didn't he go to the high priest's house? Why didn't he go to somebody from the Sanhedrin's house? But no, he went to the house of his tax collector. God forbid, right? There will be people who will not think you are worthy of that. Do not listen to them. Jesus made Zacchaeus worthy, and he even told Zacchaeus this: today salvation has come to you. Salvation just walked in your front door. The Messiah just walked in your front door, right? And he says, and so he said, because the Son of Man has come to seek and to save those who are lost. He knew Zacchaeus was a crooked man. Now Zacchaeus, all of a sudden, he's like, I'm going to give back everything I've stolen. I'm going to give it back 4 times. If I've stolen anything, I'm going to, he's like, I'm going to make all of this right. Jesus didn't even walk in there and go, okay, you little thief. He didn't have to say that. Zacchaeus was like, oh, I'm not clean. I've got to clean up my life. Jesus didn't come in there pointing the finger and saying, that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, and fix that, change that, move this. You can't do that. Why is this in your... He didn't say that. He just came to dinner, right? And Zacchaeus is like, oh, I got some things I got to change. But when Zacchaeus determined to see Jesus, then Jesus met him there. Just like out of Jeremiah when he says, when you seek me, I will let you find me. I think the King James says, I will be found by you. You will see me. God's not going to leave you hanging if you decide you make the decision. I want to know God more. I want to know more out of his word. I want to know more about his character. I want to know more about this thing called salvation and righteousness and redemption and faith and mercy and grace and all these things, peace that he gave us. I want to know more about who he is. He will meet you there, just like he said, come on down, Zacchaeus, get out of the tree, let's go to your house. And he went went home with Zacchaeus, and Zacchaeus' life was changed. But when we seek him, this is such a picture of when we reach out for him, when we chase him, when we seek him, he will let us, not only will he let us find him, but he moves in and says, come on, I got everything you need. I got all your answers. Let's explore them together. Let's have a meal. Let's enjoy life together. Let's just be together. He will meet you where you choose to seek him. And sometimes you got to run ahead and climb a tree. You got to climb up in that tree so that you can see. But Zacchaeus did whatever he needed to see Jesus that day. And Jesus met him there, and he will meet you wherever you choose to seek him today too. So be a God chaser. Be a Jesus seeker. We can all be Jesus freaks together, right? That'll be awesome too. That's right. He will meet us when we seek him. That's why we can peace out. You guys peace out. Have a great day. Have a great time with friends and family or whoever you hang out with. Or if you want to be by yourself on Thanksgiving, if you want to, because some people like to. I hope you enjoy it. Right? Have a great Thanksgiving. I may pop in and surprise everybody a time or two with some lives over the holidays, but I hope that you have a great time of fellowship and that you remember that God is in it, right? You can't commercialize Thanksgiving. I love that. So that's why everybody already skipped to Christmas. I already have Christmas fatigue. But have a great Thanksgiving, and just remember, we are thankful to God for His peace. We're thankful for His grace, His love, His mercies, all of these things that He has given us. We've been exploring for nearly 6 years now together. So have a great weekend, and I'll definitely see you bright and early next Monday morning. Have a great holiday.